I'm back with 10 more Midjourney styles that you can add to the end of your prompt, separated by a comma, to get some pretty cool results. Now, the first one is Raytracing Reflection, where everything kind of has a really reflective surface to it. This is probably the least impacted, was actually the woman's face. She has a shiny, slightly reflective face, but if you move on to Batman, all of a sudden, his armor is super shiny, super reflective, much like a ray tracing effect in a 3D video game. Santa Claus, now he has a lot of ray tracing objects around him, reflective surfaces, and Pikachu himself looks like a gold reflective statue. A little bit different than what I expected, but still pretty cool. Moving on to 1980s sitcom. Everything looks like a shot from an 80s sitcom. Samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. I think this is actually really hilarious compared to what we've had in the past. It looks like the title text is going to pop up next to him, and it's a comedy about a samurai living near Mount Fuji. The Hulk, he's at a bar with one of his workout buddies and looks completely ridiculous, but that 80s style is there 100%. And the futuristic car, everyone's got the 80s outfits. The car itself actually doesn't look that crazy, but it does look like something from an 80s movie that was on a very low budget. The guy is actually standing through the windshield on the left. Just thought I'd mention that. Pikachu is actually like a sad-looking Pikachu stuffed into an old radio with a boy in front of him. So I'm not sure what the go is there. Fluro-Zombiecore. Now, this was a cool little mix of fluorescent colors and zombie sort of styles, which created some really awesome imagery. Santa Claus looks like he's finally had enough of all the naughty children and he's gone completely nuts. Also, Batman, again, looks pretty evil, but that style, the way the mouthpiece is gone with the green eyes and the green teeth, I absolutely love this image. Moving on to the car looks really cool with the different colors in it, the fluoros, the pinksy, and the kind of like greeny yellows. I've never seen the futuristic car look as kind of unique as it has in this image. Now, Superman, he looks like a zombie Superman with those fluoro colors. Again, a really nifty effect. And the waterfall in nature. Now, there's no zombies in here, but the use of colors I thought was worth mentioning. How it created a really cool impact on the plants and the colors present in those plants. Minimalist, black and white comic strip. So this tends to make everything black and white, very simple. And if you look at Santa Claus, it's just a simple black and white image except for the red on his hat. Occasionally, you get a little bit of color injected in there. Woman's face, very simple again. A lot of this stuff could be used for vectors pretty effectively. And the modern family home. It's a minimalist style home, minimalist style picture. Very stark black and white and interesting image. And a samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. It's really just made that image as black and white as possible. Really minimalistic and simple. And the futuristic car just looks like a coloring page almost. But overall, I like the effect. Dieselpunk is something that's a little bit different, based around the idea of kind of like diesel engine culture. And if you look at the woman's face, she is kind of like wearing like the headset or goggles of someone who's going to operate a really large, powerful diesel machine. The Incredible Hulk is part man, part tractor tires. I did not expect this one at all. Pikachu looks like that old hardcore mechanic who's had enough of your crap and he wants to turn around and just kind of have a go at you. He's got that angry look on his face, but he's cute because he's Pikachu. And the family home. I love the way it turned this into kind of like a diesel-y looking old machine style home. Completely different than what I expected. And Santa Claus, he is just a dude riding a big diesel tractor or something like that and looking a little bit hardcore. The beautiful waterfall in nature has mixed in some of those techno elements with the waterfall to create something pretty unique. Next style is somewhat similar. It's called Octane. So you can see here with Mickey Mouse, Octane has a lot to do with engines. Everything has to do with some kind of vehicle, and I love the way it looks, even down to the texture of, say, his ears, which might sound a little bit funny, but the way it's kind of a little bit gritty and not quite 100% clean, I really like the way that turned out. Barbie, she's got a bunch of motorcycles in the background. She's ready to go for a ride, and that hair, just a bit different than I expected. Very 80s, I think. Santa Claus, no vehicle in sight, but he's got metal hands, and his jacket's got a lot of metal and kind of like just got that look, kind of like a biker look to the jacket, which I think is pretty cool. And Pikachu, again, some more elements just kind of thrown around him there. I'm not as impressed with this because it's just kind of got the elements thrown in there, but it's still aesthetically pretty interesting. And the samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji, it's done nothing except I just like this image, so I thought I'd include it. But that's one thing. These phrases don't work with every single image. Sometimes they can be hit and miss, but I try to only show the ones that have an impact on most of them, but it didn't impact this one at all. Sesame Street style is a really cool way of converting everyone into a Sesame Street character. So the woman's face is just added the hair and the little weird lips and nose, just different. Overall different. The samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. If they ever had a samurai episode of Sesame Street, this is what it would look like, with a red cookie monster holding what should be a sword, but really just looks like a stick on further inspection. And the Incredible Hulk, looking very hairy, very Muppet-like, and still mean and angry, but down in the streets of Sesame Street. And Pikachu, I don't know what to think of this. It looks a bit sad, but if you look closely, the jacket and the bag, it just looks like a creature that is not really having a great life, but trying its best through fashion. And of course, Barbie has turned into something a little bit different again, and just the style, it's kind of like a Sesame Street style figure, which with all of the glamour and accessories added on top. Giant robot reminds me a lot of MechCore, but with some slightly different aesthetic. So Pikachu looks like a big soulless robot going to kill and stomp all over a local village. Currently deactivated by the looks of it too. And the woman's face. Now I really like the impact of this. It has a very Battle Angel Alita-esque vibe to it, but very cool looking. And the house has got bits of machinery sticking out of it. And I was really happy because most of the house is fine. It's just little areas of it, like with the robot legs on the right and the little sort of kind of pillars and bits and pieces. Very, very cool result with that one. Samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji, very Japanese style sort of mech, kind of reminds me a little bit of Gundam. I don't really watch a lot of it, but the little strings a bit hanging off, it still has that samurai feel to it. So this was a surprising result as well. Now Santa Claus, once again, sick of the naughty kids, out for revenge. He's got his mech suit, and if you look at his face, he looks pretty angry. So I think it's pretty, I really like that image. Now, World War II Propaganda Photo, or WW2. This is an interesting aesthetic that really just captures that old propaganda photo style. This is Barbie. She's wearing an American Army uniform, about to go into war. Different than what you'd expect to see. Pikachu, and he's in there, and he's flying the flag, trying to be a patriot. I really think this is the drawing style of his uniform, everything. I think it looks pretty cool. And Hulk, he's just another thing, kind of like Pikachu, that same style has been applied to him. And Santa Claus, I have no idea why this one turned out the way it did, but I had to share it. Santa Claus looks like he's right in the middle of battle, and he's frightened because a large, giant, exploding Santa Claus is right behind him. Very unique image overall. Now, Mickey Mouse, he doesn't look like he's from the same side as these other guys, but he is definitely showing his patriotism in this image. Now, dark fantasy is a little bit different. I got a bonus style after this one, but everything has that dark, cool look to it. That vibe I really like with Barbie, like the blackness and everything with a little bit of pink, really suits well with the cat. Also, the futuristic car has a bit of a Batmobile vibe to it, but looks just really like a luxury, dark, cool car. And Pikachu finally has that fantasy theme woven into it. So it looks like a bit of a wizard. And if you look at the modern family home, the sky is dark, the architecture is dark. Overall, it just looks like a dark family home, but in a modern era. And the samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji, I thought this one turned out really cool. Has a really dark horror vibe to it. He's got his sword out, which is usually not the case, although it really depends on how you look at it. But the bats, the dark scenery, and the little bit of red on the trees just really finishes off this image. Now, finally, it's the end of the year, so we have Christmas style. So I just want to go ahead and say Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, happy holidays to everyone. I hope you have a great break. But we've got a few images to share here. Modern family home is literally just a photo inside a modern family home with a Christmas tree. The samurai in front of Mount Fuji, it's like it's snowing. He's got that red Christmas-themed colors attached to his uniform. The Terminator. Now, he is celebrating Christmas in a way I've never seen before with the red sunnies, the red rim sunnies. If you look closely, he has human eyes behind those sunnies. But the skull, I don't really know what to expect of this, and it looks like there's a Christmas tree in the background that's blurred, out of focus, producing that bokeh. Incredible Hulk is ready to open his presents for the day and enjoy himself. And finally, Pikachu, also with presents. And I just thought this was interesting and a good way to say thank you to you guys for watching these videos. This year, YouTube became my full-time income, and that's the best Christmas present of all, and I want to thank you all for supporting me, and I really appreciate everything. So, hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you're doing. I hope you're having a great time, and we'll see you again soon.